happening? How's it going, everybody? Good to see you. Good to be here. I'm your host, Joshua Diaz. Let me make sure. All right. Make sure. Can you guys hear me? Say, can you see? Happy Indigenous People Day. All the kids. It's funny. I asked, my son says, "Oh, we don't have school today, Dad." And I was like, "Why?" And he said, "Because it's the teachers have something to do." And I was like, "Oh, like, you know, because now they have active shooter drills and things like that." And so that I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I understand that." And apparently that's not what it is at all. It's Indigenous People Day. So used to be Columbus Day, and it is no longer Columbus Day. It's World Mental Health Day. It's like the world going to shit or crap. Sorry, man, I already messed up. I already messed up.
Don't say any F's and stuff.
Sorry about that. I apologize. So anyway, that's what's going on there, and I'm happy to report that I did make it through the first night with Macho and Otis. That was interesting, and we could talk about that another time. I mean, I got to tell you, I'm absolutely exhausted. It was nuts, and it wasn't like nuts like they were being bad. Macho isn't used to being out of his cage, and so when he's out of his cage at night, all the lights go out and he's on the bed. Otis is on his side, sleeping, snoring like crazy, and every little noise that he hears, he wasn't barking, but he'd look around, he was like scared. So I really felt bad for him there. Now we can talk. I mean, seriously, it feels like I was up with twins all night. That's what it feels like. Feels like I was up with twins. I went to bed, I don't know, 2 or 3 in the morning, got up at 7. Definitely didn't sleep through the entire night. I definitely don't do it. Whatever it is. I'm trying to talk my husband into a second dog. We got a very lazy Shar-Pei. Don't do it. Okay, I mean, I would do it, but still, I have to say that. That's a disclaimer. Before we get on to the main topic, I do want to talk a little bit about Quentin Simon. Doesn't seem like a lot of good things are happening, but it does seem like things are happening, and we can also listen to, and hold on, I'll pull this down as well. I'll hide it. Oops, that's the wrong one, dude. God, I suck. Like, I seriously suck at this so much. Okay, that's better. And then let's see, can I? Yeah, I unfortunately, I did. Yeah, it was just a little tester, little something. So but it was all right, man. It was cool. All right, now let's talk about the Quentin Simon case, because it is getting hectic. But let's just listen to this press conference real quick, and then we'll go from there. Let me make my fat but smaller. Okay. Well, I kind of want to let me pull this down a little bit so we can get a little bit of the Diaz dog going. You know, represent. It's more like the Diaz dogs. And the cage may provide him comfort. You don't have to lock it. He slept in his cage. I had to put him in the cage. I didn't want to put him in the cage, but that was the only way he would go to sleep. So that's okay. I'm not too concerned about that. But anyway, let's go ahead and listen to this.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. You guys ready?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell, like, this has got to be hard on just everybody involved. That job is rough, to say the least. It's rough.
As we continue our search for Quentin Simon, I want to update you on our aggressive efforts to find him. I want to assure everyone that we are continuing to use every investigative resource available for us to locate little Quentin. We have conducted multiple interviews, executed multiple search warrants, and we've canvassed numerous specific geographic areas. The day Quentin was reported missing, we requested the assistance of the FBI. They responded immediately and have been on the scene with our officers since that time. Today, there are more than 40 FBI agents and personnel on the ground in Chatham County working with our department to find Quentin. This includes all agents assigned to the Savannah and Brunswick resident agencies and professional staff, agents from other FBI offices, including members of the Child Abduction and Rapid Deployment Unit, and other subject matter experts working.
If you're familiar with this show, then you'll know that the card team is what the FBI sends out immediately from the local office. So 40 agents is a ton, and we'll have more on the search. This was earlier this morning, but we'll have more on this after.
They have been continuously working with Chatham County Police Department for the last 5 days. We believe with the continued assistance of the FBI, we will have a resolution to this case. We understand that people far beyond Chatham County have become emotionally invested in this incident and the search for Quentin, and they want answers. We are committed to finding those answers, and we are committed to finding Quentin. With that said, I'll be happy to answer a few questions if you have.
This has been going on for about 5 days now, and I think everybody is kind of moving towards worst case scenarios. At what point, do you say that there's some criminal aspect to what's going on?
Yes, and that's a very good and that's a very fair question. We're looking at it from multiple fronts, and one of it being a criminal investigation.
Now, I believe as of this morning, it is. I think maybe after, but they are looking at this now as a criminal investigation.
As well as, a missing child at this point. We don't have anything confirmed, so we can't say anything absolutely. But it is fair to say that, our efforts and the cooperation with the FBI and them providing an abundance of resources to us, that we are looking at the criminal investigation aspect of it as well.
Chief, how are you looking at the criminal investigation? What people are you looking into? Is it turning towards family members or?
Everybody is being looked at. Everybody is being interviewed. Everybody that had contact with Quinton in the most recent time of his disappearance is being looked at, is being interviewed, and that's an enormous amount of work, obviously, that takes, and we are continuing to do everything that we can do to gather evidence if it's there. We have to follow, obviously, an investigative process. We have to follow the law. We have to get search warrants. I know there's a lot of interest out there and probably some chatter of why haven't you done this and why haven't you done that. Well, we have a constitution to follow. We have the law to follow, because we want to make sure we get it right. We want to make sure we do this as professionally and as expertly as we can. So if, and I say if, we have to prosecute anyone in this case, that we've done it right.
I say when you have to prosecute somebody in this case. And he knows that too. He's being very careful with his words, which he should be. That's part of his job. But yeah, it's really when, it's not if.
That we don't lose evidence in an evidentiary hearing or anything like that. So we continue to work diligently, but we're going to work within the framework that we have to work in.
What are the updates in the areas being searched? Where is it gone from? Where are you searching now?
Well, we went back today and researched the home in which he was last at. Trying to redouble our efforts and to kind of scrub, no pun intended, with scrub the area and make sure that we didn't miss anything.
I'm not sure where the pun was, but now, okay, so yeah, let me say, Melissa asked here, Josh, what's your opinion? I believe the mother's fully responsible for this, and I don't know what the boyfriend has to do with it, but whatever happened, either the kid drowned in the pool or something. But as we're speaking, they're putting up black. Whatever. They're blacking out the windows to the house. So, that'll tell you whatever you make of that.
So FBI agents outside the home. What was the purpose of them being there?
They're there to help us. It's a Chatham County Police Department investigation. They are here in a support role, and I can't thank them enough. You don't bring 40 people, and some from all over the country, without an enormous amount of effort and expense. Those agents left their homes and left their families to come here and help Chatham County look for little Quinton.
The only reason to black out those windows is so people can't, luminol, and also in case they recover a body inside. Sugar Cookie, I understand. It sucks. It's okay. I understand.
I can't be any more appreciative of that.
Chief, we filed open records request for the 911 call. The body camera video from that initial response. It was denied today, and originally they said it was because of this.
We'll be talking about Chloe here in a minute.
County attorney kind of backtracked.
I just wanted to give this update.
You usually use in a criminal investigation. Why don't you want that out there? Why don't you want the public to hear this mother call 911?
We have to protect the integrity of the investigation, and that's first and foremost. I certainly understand people's interest in this case, your interest in this case, and I can appreciate that. But my responsibility and our responsibility is to do a professional investigation, that we don't do anything that impedes that we don't do anything that tarnishes the integrity of the investigation, and that's my sole responsibility for that.
Have any of the family members, are they still being cooperative, especially this mother, and have any of them told you that they don't want to talk anymore because they got lawyers?
I can't answer that question.
Chief, where are Leilani and Daniel right now? They are the parents and the boyfriend of this young boy, but we haven't seen them pleading to the public for help.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they right now?
I don't know where they are currently at this time. I do believe they've been staying at the residence, but I don't physically right now, as I'm talking to you, I don't know where they're
Do you
at.
know why it is that we have not seen them? They're not talking to us. They're not pleading to get their child back.
I don't have an answer for that.
I do.
There's
From the
an
start of
increase
the-
of activity in the area this morning. We saw Chatham County Fire, FBI at the house, a couple of looks like unmarked police vehicles. Is there a reason for increased activity today after kind of a drop off, at least at the house over the weekend?
As I just stated earlier, we were searching that residence again this morning.
I have a quick question for you, Chief. At this point in
And
the
then she has a
investigation, I know you can't speak specifically, but in cases like this, so you exhaust your first search, and now you're back into researching some of those, you said, targeted areas over the weekend. What happens next if no one's giving you tips, if there's no piece of evidence that changes this case? How long do you exhaust this, and what do your investigators do after today?
Well, after today, I mean, I anticipate us working at least throughout the week. So at some point, if I'm following your train of logic, that we may have to sit down and reevaluate where we're at. If we've exhausted everything that we think that we can do, if we ask ourselves that question and we think there's nothing else for us to do at this moment, then we got to sit down and reevaluate. But we're a long ways away from that.
Is this from the start of the process of the investigation, now going on to Monday? Do you feel like you all have gotten further along in the process of reaching some sort of conclusion?
I do.
Do you have, what makes you believe that, if you don't mind me asking?
I can't get any specifics of the case.
How you guys doing? I mean, this has got to be exhausting. You can tell that you look tired. I mean, how are you investigators doing? This is a tough case.
Thank you. Thanks for that question. I appreciate that.
That's actually really.
They're tired.
I don't think I've ever. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard somebody ask that before, but that is what a lovely question that is, because these people they work their butt off, man. It is a tough job what they're doing, and not only is it physically you're up, they're saying 18 to 20 hours around the clock people are working, but I mean you're looking for a 20-month-old baby, and if you have a shred of decency in you, that's gonna wear on you.
But they're determined, and I couldn't be any prouder of them. They have worked 18-hour days since last Wednesday morning, along with the FBI and everybody else. I mean, they are all hands on deck. They are committed. They are working hard to try to bring a resolution to this case and find a little Quentin. So, but thank you for asking. I appreciate it.
Springboard off of that, that sounds like you're stating out here saying that you guys will find out.
I believe we will. I do.
Chief, you set up a tip, or your department set up a tip number over the weekend. Have y'all received any tips from it so far?
I believe we've received some, but we have to verify those, whether or not they're accurate, whether or not we can, follow up on any of that information. I don't have anything of substance. So I got one more question from you.
You actually took the words right out of my mouth.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. Thank you for asking about our detectives, and I promise when we get something to report, we'll report it back out to you. Thank you so much.
Let me ask you just one more question. Has there been any contact with Quentin's biological father?
We have had contact with him, yes.
Is he at all, is he a suspect in this case? Has he been cleared?
He's not a suspect in this case.
Got it.
God, now that right there is how you do a press conference in a missing child's case. Somebody take notes, and I'm not going to say who, but take notes, because that right there is how you do it. Incredible job. He said a lot without saying a lot, and that's not easy to do, and that's what he did. Let's see here. Okay, so as we go on here, they are draining the pool. I don't know the status of it. They're blacking out the windows in the house. They obviously feel that there is something that they need to look at there. Great questions by the reporters. Fantastic questions, and it looks like that they have a really good, working relationship. He understands that people are curious about this case. They want to know what's going on with it. But he is working in an active investigation. And so that in itself is enough for me to go, okay, well, let's just, step to the side. And why is Cobalt? What I don't understand. I don't understand. What is it? What's the problem? I don't like that. I don't get it. Anyway, moving on.
Pleading for answers. Their daughter, 14-year-old Chlor Cample, has not been seen in more than a week. She disappeared after a high school football game in Boulder. Michael Abeda is joining us live tonight from Boulder. And Michael, you spoke to her parents, who are understandably very worried.
Very worried, Kelly. Chlor was last seen 8 days ago on the Boulder Creek path behind Boulder Creek High School after that football game in a place that her parents say students call the smoke spot. They also say that they are worried that she may have been taken against her will.
She's got a really good sense of humor, and she's full of life.
Jessica Canopi and David Campbell say their daughter Chlor Cample is the light of their world, a light that's been missing for more than a week. They say on September 30th, she went to the Boulder High School football game at the school. They then say she was seen on the Boulder Creek soon after, walking, possibly intoxicated. But that's not all.
She was described by eyewitnesses to be with two men, older men.
Yeah, look, I really do want to just ignore it and move on and not make a big deal out of it. But, if you're saying that somebody derailed Summer's investigation, well, that somebody is somebody that I work really closely with and talk with and have a very good relationship with. And I can guarantee you that did not happen. That's not happening. I just, that's just not happening. So please, I'm just asking. You can have your opinion, but yeah.
Too old to be in high school, one of whom was Asian and the other who had a beard.
The parents started their search as soon as she didn't return home, hanging flyers around town. 8 days later, Boulder police joined the effort, asking the community to help them find her. David says neither he, Jessica, or Chloe's friends have had any confirmed contact with her this whole time.
The communications that we've received through third parties that purport to be from Chloe originate in a Snapchat handle that we're not familiar with. It could be anybody.
The only proof that she's still alive that they've gotten is an ominous picture from an anonymous source that doesn't exactly put their minds at ease.
She looked injured and unwell.
They feared that she may be being held against her will or even trafficked to another state. But no matter where she is, they say they will do everything they can to bring her back.
Chloe, honey, we love you so much. You're not in trouble. If you can come home, boy, just please do. And if you can't, we will not stop until we find you. In addition to missing their daughter, Chloe's parents say they have been dealing with misinformation and rumors being spread in real life and online. Things like that she was found, or that she's living in Arizona with family, which they say they have no family in Arizona, or even that she's dead, complete with
fake obituaries. Now, they say none of those things are true. To get real information from their parents, you can head to findctb.org. And if you have any information about what happened to Chloe or her whereabouts, you're asked to call Boulder Police. In Boulder, Michael Aveda, covering Colorado First.
Michael, thank you. Now,
So, Boulder, Colorado, if you remember Boulder, it is a very well-known place. Obviously, the JonBenet Ramsey case was there, and they really haven't started to take this case serious up until just the other day, like a couple days ago at least. And it's not sitting right with some folks, specifically the Ramsey family. It sounds like the brother and the father, Burke, and John, is his name John? I can't remember his name. It sounds like they are calling out the Boulder police once again. So we have worlds colliding here. The scariest part about this entire thing is that these parents received an ominous photo of their child from an unconfirmed Snapchat. And they said that this girl looks like she's in distress, that there's some harm, but they don't know where it came from and who it came from. They have no idea. And she's been missing since September 30th. It seems to be a case that hasn't got a lot of play, a lot of anything, really. I mean, I think it'll probably start to pick up momentum now, but it hasn't gotten a lot of attention. But it is starting to, which is obviously what you want. But let's hear. Here's a pretty recent. I cannot believe that they do that. I really can't. Why would they send that photo?
Good morning, everybody. Starting off your morning with a live look over downtown Denver. Very dark out there, very chilly as well. Jordan Chavez alongside Greg Perez with you on this Sunday morning. Anusha Roy has the morning off. We got to start with talking about yesterday's forecast. Absolutely beautiful. I saw you took advantage of it, got outside and hiked a bit.
I did.
You know, as a robbery at the Family Dollar store just off 64th Avenue. The suspect then drove off going.
Enrique Perez is used to this noise.
All right, Enrique.
His trucking business is right on his home's property in Commerce City.
Everybody's been moving away. I think
they say has been missing.
There it is.
But there was no threat to the campus. Commerce City police did confirm that the suspect was taken into custody. Police are worried about a Boulder teenager they say has been missing now for a week. This is 14-year-old Chloe Campbell. Police think she ran away, but now they're asking for the broader public's help. Police believe she does not have access to money or her medication. Chloe was last seen at the Boulder High School football game last Friday. Police say some of her friends are getting messages claiming Chloe is in Arizona with family, but nobody has been able to confirm that's true or if the real Chloe is sending those messages. Police say this case does not meet the criteria to send an Amber Alert, but they want the public to be on the lookout. Police in Denver arrested a driver who ran away after.
Yeah, and there's not a lot. There's not a lot there, unfortunately, and you would hope that there would be more, but I just, This girl just disappears with two older men. She was seen at a football game intoxicated with two older men that were too old to be in high school. And she was last seen leaving the football game on a trail. And it's just, obviously another case that looks terrible. Hold on. Great, my sister's calling like always. She always calls at the worst times. It's always the worst times when she calls. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, so this young lady has really got. I mean, she's obviously not good. She's been missing since September 30th, and they're just now starting to treat it like a crime. And I don't understand. I'll never understand that. Yeah, she's 14 years old. Last seen with two old guys.
All with blonde hair. And
hold on. Let me put the. I'll put the. I say old guys. They're supposed to be too old to be. In high school. There you go. So, this is her missing person poster. Make it a little bigger here. No Amber Alert. Nothing like that. So. And there it is. She was last seen near Boulder High School wearing a black hoodie, purple top, and blue jeans. And then there's the numbers if you would like to, if you have any information. Yeah, they won't issue an Amber Alert. The parents do seem calm, and I kind of wondered that as well. I was like, I wonder why they're so calm. I believe I don't know. They just okay. Let me see here. I'll pull up the parents' interview. Let's see here. Boulder parents, desperate.
New at 10, a Boulder family is asking for help to find their 14.
Okay, here, let's play this one. I gotta recrop it. She kind of looks like Nancy Grace a little bit. All right, that's good enough. Lock it in place, baby.
14-year-old daughter after she disappeared 10 days ago.
They tell Denver 7 they fear she is a victim of human trafficking. Denver 7's Patrick Perez has more on what the parents know so far.
The parents of this 14-year-old girl desperate for answers after she disappeared more than a week ago.
She's never run away. She's never stayed out all night, so it was extraordinary for her not to come home.
David and Jessica say Chlor Cample was last seen on Friday, September 30th, just after 8 p.m. at their Boulder High football game. Her friends say the freshman was with two men they did not recognize who appeared to be suspicious.
Immediately when she did not come home, we started looking for her. David was searching all around here tirelessly, and then we ramped up the searches over the weekend.
Since that day, Jessica and David have had zero contact with Chloe as she did not have her phone on her. Any inklings about her whereabouts have come through social media messages to Chloe's friends, but there's no real confirmation those messages are actually from her.
There's a story that Chloe is with a family in Arizona, and I want to make it crystal clear that we don't have any family in Arizona.
Just this past Friday, they received a photo from a friend of Chloe's in which she appeared unwell and injured. They worry she's a victim of human trafficking.
I am not expert in trafficking, but I do know that the tactics of traffickers is to prey on young girls that are at high risk, and Chloe has been struggling since the pandemic. She has many risk factors that these types of predators prey on.
Boulder police investigators are growing increasingly concerned about Chloe's safety, but the case does not meet their criteria for an Amber Alert, a spokesperson told us. Chloe's parents are hoping through the public's help and the private investigator they've hired, she'll be home soon.
Honey, we love you so much. You are so precious to us. We just can't bear the thought of you being gone any longer.
If you can't come home, if someone is preventing you from coming home, I'm speaking to you right now. Whoever you are that's keeping Chloe from coming home, know that we are looking for you and that we are going to find you, and we are never going to stop until Chloe is home safe.
Chloe's.
I mean, I don't know if that doesn't seem that calm to me. Kelly S. They're pretty well educated. Simple Life Days. Thank you for being here. I appreciate that. They're pretty well educated people, and I believe the mother's a doctor. I don't know what the father does, but I don't know. They just seem, they're very well spoken and seem to come from a decent place. I just don't know that much about them. I really don't. It's hard to say. Like, I'm not trying to vouch for these people, but I mean, you didn't see Danny and Leilani doing this.
You are so precious to us. We just can't bear the thought of you being gone any longer.
If you can't come home, if someone is preventing you from coming home, I'm speaking to you right now. Whoever you are that's keeping Chloe from coming home, know that we are looking for you and that we are going to find you, and we are never going to stop until Chloe is home safe.
Chloe's.
I mean, that is about as clear as you can get right there, and God bless him for being that way. To get the fact that they received a phone call, or not a phone call, but a picture or Snapchat where she looked like she was hurt and she was, tired and beat up. That is a different level of distress. Yeah, they do. Let me see here, bro. Yo, Cobalt, I don't want to take away from the show, but what is your problem today? I really don't understand what you're doing. I mean, I do kind of understand what you're doing, but Cobalt, I don't think you need to be here, yo. Like, seriously, I mean, you're kind of a dick, and I don't really like it. And I don't want you here. I don't care, Cobalt. I really don't care. Just go. Like, the fact that we're gonna have to kick you from the room is crappy enough. You know what I mean? Because you're being a dick. And that's all it is. That's all you're doing. Idiot. Like, it's just so stupid. Why can't you just come in, watch the show? If you don't like it, frig off. Like, it's like it doesn't matter, dude. Just go away. All right, I want to watch that parent interview one more time.
There's a story that Chloe is with a family in Arizona, and I want to make it crystal clear that we don't have any family in Arizona.
Just this past Friday,
I don't know, man. They don't look calm to me. Do they look calm to you? They don't look calm to me.
See the photo from a friend of Chloe's in which she appeared unwell and injured. They worry she's a victim of human trafficking.
I am not expert in trafficking, but I do know that the tactics of traffickers is to prey on young girls that are at high risk. And Chloe has been struggling since the pandemic. She has many risk factors that these types of predators prey on.
Boulder police investigate.
So, I mean, it sounds like what he's saying is... it sounds like what he's saying is she's having issues, that she has issues, that she's having issues, so on and so forth. And I believe what he's saying. I don't think there's nothing to indicate that these parents have anything to do with what's going on. Dad looks... Yeah. I just don't get it. I couldn't tell with the other chopped video. He does mean business. He really does mean business.
Come home. But I do know that the tactics of traffickers is to prey on young girls that are at high risk. And Chloe has been struggling since the pandemic. She has many risk factors that these types of predators...
And I am curious about what those risk factors are. I am curious. But, he said that she's struggling during the pandemic. Maybe it's depression. Maybe it's... Who knows, really? But, he's obviously stating that his daughter has not been in a great state of mind. And, she's at a high school football game. I mean, that's pretty normal, right? That's pretty normal. But, I do get concerned about the whole trafficking thing. Because I think that most things like this, and trust me, this very well could be a trafficking case. I mean, she is seen with two older men at a football game. She was seen at a football game and leaving with these two men. And what appears, they were saying, witnesses were saying that she appeared to be intoxicated. I'm telling you, man, alcohol is gotta be like, I read a statistic one time. It was like 40 something, don't quote me on this, 40 something % of all emergency calls are alcohol and drug related. Like that's close to half. That's a lot. That is a lot. Yeah, and I don't know why no Amber Alert. That's a great point. But here, let me show you what. I'll read you what. Ramsey, Boulder. This is interesting. This is from Inside Edition. Let me get rid of that. I think you guys will find this somewhat interesting. YouTube. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew. Oopsie. Okay, so... Oh, wait, what is this? What is this?
Who would run away.
A teen went missing in Boulder, Colorado under disturbing circumstances. Her anguished parents are pleading for help.
Chloe's not the kind of girl who would run away. She's never run away.
The city of Boulder is where little beauty pageant contestant JonBenet Ramsey was slain in 1996. A case that remains unsolved after 26 years, triggering criticism of Boulder police. Her father, John Ramsey, says of the Chloe case, it sounds like the Boulder police were slow to respond. This is exactly the failure that we have criticized them for in our case. Sounds like not much has changed. And his son is denouncing the Boulder police for initially classifying Chloe Campbell's disappearance as a runaway and not as a potential kidnapping.
It's ludicrous. Come on. 14-year-old child away from her home for any extended period of time, runaway, whatever the classification is, that child needs to be home with her parents and should be, top priority for the police.
14-year-old Chloe has been missing for 10 days. She was last seen after attending a local high school football game. Witnesses say she was seen with two older men who looked sketchy.
I read that you may have received a photo alleging that she appeared to be injured.
We received a photo that appears to have been taken on Friday. She had a cut on her lip. She appeared injured in the photo, and she did not appear well.
Chloe's mom, who is a doctor, says she's concerned that Chloe may be the victim of human trafficking.
We have leads to Arizona, but we're looking far and wide for Chloe.
Boulder police tell us they opened the case when Chloe was reported missing. They say they've maintained contact with her family ever since.
Yeah. What does it say? It sounds the fact that he just came out and said that is like pretty gnarly, but I mean, he's probably right, isn't he? Let me see here. Yeah, I just can't believe that he's just sounds like some things haven't changed. He's still got a major beef with Boulder. I don't blame him. I just know that, I mean, that's like, no, that's crazy. Let's see. All right, so after the search for missing... Hold on. I almost got it. This is disheartening at best. Tragic. After the search for missing 14-year-old Chloe Campbell enters its 10th day, the family of slain child beauty queen JonBenet Ramsey is criticizing local police's response. Both families are from Boulder, Colorado. Quote, it sounds like the Boulder police were slow to respond. This is exactly the failure that we have criticized. We have criticized them for in our case. Sounds like not much has changed. JonBenet was killed at the age of 6 in 1996, and the case remains unsolved after 26 years. JonBenet's half brother is also denouncing the Boulder Police Department for initially classifying Chloe's disappearance as a runaway and not a potential kidnapping. It's ludicrous. Come on, 14-year-old child away from her home for any significant period of time, runaway, whatever the classification is, that child needs to be home with her parents. It should be top priority for the police, John Andrews Ramsey said. And I agree with that. What does it matter? I mean, she's gone. So if you treat it any different, just because she's a runaway, you shouldn't. You shouldn't treat it any different. And people do, man. I don't know why they do that. You would think it just shouldn't be treated any different. Let's see. Boulder police say they opened the case when Chloe was reported missing and have maintained contact with her family ever since. But that doesn't really mean anything other, like they classified it as a runaway. A 14-year-old girl leaving with two, quote unquote, from the witness, sketchy men, too old to be in high school, doesn't seem like something that you just, I don't know, man. It's how do they determine that? How do they determine that kind of stuff? How do they determine whether she is a runaway or high risk? I don't understand that. Right. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of how I feel about it. So she's allowed to run away? She's allowed to run away? I mean, I don't know. We all know that time is of the essence. None of that is new. It always is. And she is not allowed to run away from home. But to say that to treat a missing child, runaway or not, and you don't have any proof that she's a runaway, yet you treat it like that, and you treat runaways different, that's not right. That is not right. And if that's what happened, it's another failure. I'm not saying that it would look, it could change this case drastically. It certainly could change the case. But I mean, it's not right. How do you not take that serious? How do you pretend that, oh, well, she just ran off? You don't know. You do not know if she ran away or not. Yes, a missing child is a missing child, and that's all there is to it. There's nothing to debate there. This girl is 14 years old. The parents are saying, look, man, she's got problems, and you're not doing anything to help us find her. She didn't run away. Now, I know that most parents would say that their child didn't run away because nobody wants to believe that their child would run away. I get that. So most parents are going to be like, you know what? Nobody wants to believe that their child would run away, but it doesn't matter if you believe if they run away or not. That none of that matters. That doesn't make any difference whatsoever. And to pretend that it does for your slow response, which is kind of what, I mean, it sounds like. It sounds like that is the excuse that is being given. Look, I'm not saying that kids don't run away. They certainly do. But, I mean, even just looking at the circumstances as an outsider, she's missing. She's gone. And now we're, what is it, 10 days later now? 10 days later. Ten days later. And now they're just responding. Apparently a lot of runaways run to Boulder. Really? I didn't know that. Yeah, that is interesting. That is interesting for sure. It is a loophole. You're right. It is a loophole. There's no doubt about that. I just, I'm curious myself as to why. And by the way, they didn't dispute anything. They didn't dispute. All they said was that they opened a case. Well, yeah, it sounds like you opened a runaway case. That's what it sounds like. So much, yeah, lost time. I mean, there's just a million things that are wrong here. Just a million things. Ray of Sunshine says, a lot could have happened in those 8 days. A lot happens in 8 minutes. The laws need to change. Yes. I have not seen a press conference. All I've seen are the parents out there pleading for the children, for their child. I'm late watching the parents interview. The dad reminds me of Elizabeth Smart's dad. Yeah. Crucial time. So much time wasted. Imagine getting that photo. It reminds me of that case this is going way back, where the girl was riding her bike with the Walkman. I can't remember what that case was. And I believe I can't believe my golden retriever is sleeping away with Josh speaking on the TV. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up, little buddy. Yeah, the parents they do seem on the up and up for sure. I don't see anything. Parents seem... Yeah, I just... How is there not... I don't even know if it needs to be an Amber Alert, but because there's so much crap that is associated with those Amber Alerts, meaning the very specific. Look, man, just say, hey, we got a missing kid. How is that hard? Has anybody seen this kid? She may have ran away. She may have been abducted. She may be rolled her ankle and is laying in a ravine, waiting for somebody to come help. All you got to do, say, hey, man, we got a missing kid. We don't know what the hell happened to her, but can people be on the lookout? We investigate all these things as suspicious. It's suspicious when a 14-year-old kid or any kid that is with older men, two older men who look too old to be in high school that people don't recognize. I don't understand that. I certainly do not have it under control. I wish I did. Love Pink says there's at least one petition on change.org for any missing kid. It needs to change. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know. I don't know if the Amber Alert's the answer, but like, I just don't know why you can't say, hey, we got a missing kid here. We got a missing kid. Has anybody seen? She may have ran away. She may have not. We don't know what's going on. Blah, 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 so on and so forth. It's not that big. It's like Boulder, once again, and I don't want to get into the JonBenet Ramsey case, because I absolutely can't stand that case, because I just, I don't know who did what, and you can, but what I do know is that house was completely contaminated by people coming in and out. It seemed like they really messed up the first day stuff when it comes to the JonBenet Ramsey case. I'm sure most of those police officers are retired. I don't know if this is a department. I don't know. I just know that in this case right here, right now, the one that we're talking about, doesn't seem like it was handled properly from the beginning. And not only that, it hasn't got the media attention that a lot of these other cases have got, because they weren't treating it suspicious at all. And that is a problem. You cost them resources, attention. Nobody's gonna live. Hey, we got a runaway kid. Well, okay, you better be damn sure that she is a runaway kid, because when you report it that way, people aren't going to be as curious. They're not going to keep looking. They say, she's just some 14-year-old kid with problems. She ran away. That's not right. Because you don't know. And it doesn't sound like, especially now, it doesn't sound like she's run away, because they received a photo of her where she had a busted lip. There's so many missing. It's almost like we need a parallel police force dedicated to the missing. Yep. I mean, you can't just deem it. You can't just deem her a runaway without proof or evidence. I mean, it's suspicion. It totally impedes the entire investigation, the process. It impedes everything. It stops progress in its tracks. Now let me say, I'll say this to you, and then you can give me your feedback here. What is going to catch your attention more as a concerned citizen from your town? You have 14-year-old girl suspected of running away. 14-year-old girl suspected of running away. And you're like, oh, that's a terrible thing. Or 14-year-old girl goes missing under suspicious circumstances. We don't know why or what's going on. Well, I'll tell you that one is going to get way more attention than the other. And if they were just like, oh, this, if they know this girl, if the parents were like, look, she has problems, and they said, well, you know, she has problems. She probably just ran away. She'll be back. She'll be back. It's okay. And so now, so now you've completely stopped all momentum of trying to find this girl right away. Immediately, right away. Screwed. I screwed the pooch. She's just a 14-year-old kid, and I know you like look at her, you go, oh, you know, she's she could be a troubled teen. Well, what teen isn't troubled? What teen isn't a pain? What teen doesn't have issues? What teen doesn't have angst? I don't know that many that don't, you know. Jeez. All right, well. Bye for now.